Imagine a time when the clink of a glass could set off a raid, when secret knocks opened doors to hidden worlds, and the pursuit of a forbidden pleasure could end in arrest. Welcome to the era of Prohibition, a daring social experiment that turned America into a battlefield. From 1920 to 1933, the United States embarked on a bold endeavor to outlaw alcohol, igniting a nationwide conflict between the force of the law and the resilience of the human spirit, determined to keep the party alive against all odds. In an age where the sale, manufacture, and transportation of alcohol were banned, speakeasies flourished, bootleggers thrived, and federal agents became both heroes and villains in the eyes of the public. Today we dive into raided, dramatic moments from Prohibition's battlefields, a journey back to a time of flappers and speakeasies, of moonshiners and gangsters, and of the lawmen who tried to stop them. Join us as we explore the dramatic confrontations, the ingenious ways Americans defied the 18th Amendment, and the enduring legacy of Prohibition's battle against the bottle. As the dust settles from the dramatic raids, let's rewind to the origins of Prohibition. The 18th Amendment, ratified in 1919, marked the beginning, making the manufacture, sale, and transport of alcohol illegal across the United States. This legislative act was enforced by the Volstead Act, setting the legal definition of intoxicating liquors and laying out the penalties for violation. Behind this unprecedented law were societal forces including the temperance movement, which argued alcohol was responsible for societal ills like crime and poverty. Almost overnight, a vibrant part of American life went underground, creating a stark divide. On one side were those championing moral improvement, and on the other, those who saw Prohibition as an infringement on personal freedoms, setting the stage for an era defined by conflict and contradiction. In the shadow of Prohibition, America's thirst for alcohol didn't dry up. It simply went underground. Speakeasies, clandestine bars operating in secret, sprang up by the thousands, from the basements of New York to the hidden corners of Chicago, offering sanctuary to those seeking a sip of the forbidden. Bootleggers became the era's smugglers, ingeniously transporting liquor across state lines, and even from overseas, using everything from false compartments in cars to concealing flasks in boots. Through rare photographs and first-hand accounts, we glimpse into these secretive worlds, from the glamorous to the gritty. Jazz-filled speakeasies like the Cotton Club became the beating heart of the Roaring Twenties, defying the law with every clink of a glass, while the cunning of bootleggers kept the spirits flowing, fueling the defiance that defined an era. With America dry, the thirst for alcohol turned into a roaring underground river. The government's response was to double down, creating the Prohibition Bureau, a federal force tasked with enforcing the new laws. However, the Bureau quickly found itself outmatched and outwitted at every turn. Agents faced a hydra of challenges. For every speakeasy they shuttered, two more seemed to spring up. The scale of illegal alcohol distribution was colossal, stretching across state lines and international borders, involving complex networks that law enforcement could barely comprehend, let alone control. Compounding these difficulties was rampant corruption within their ranks, with many agents and local police turning a blind eye, or even aiding, the very bootleggers they were supposed to apprehend. This combination of widespread defiance and internal betrayal set the stage for an era where the law was as blurred as the line between friend and foe. The battlefields of Prohibition were marked by dramatic raids and high-stakes showdowns. Speakeasies, the illicit temples of jazz and gin, were frequently targeted. Using archival photos and first-hand accounts, we delve into the night the famous 300 Club was raided, its patrons arrested, and its secret panels and hidden bars revealed to the world. Newspaper headlines of the era screamed of the event, capturing the public's fascination and fear. The confrontations weren't just in dark alleys or behind hidden doors. They spilled onto the open roads and high seas. Bootleggers, with their cars and boats laden with contraband, led federal agents on high-speed chases that were as dangerous as they were thrilling. Maritime confrontations, particularly on the Great Lakes and coastal waters, saw smugglers and Coast Guard cutters engaging in cat-and-mouse games under the cover of night. Central to this era were figures like Elliot Ness, the untouchable lawman, and Al Capone, the notorious gangster. Their chess game of evasion and enforcement epitomized the era's complexity, with Ness embodying the relentless pursuit of justice and Capone the cunning resilience of the criminal underworld. These dramatic raids and encounters painted the Prohibition era not just as a time of law but as a time of legends. The raids of the Prohibition era left an indelible mark on society, transforming public opinion and giving rise to a new era of organized crime. As speakeasies were smashed and bootleggers handcuffed, the public began to question the efficacy and morality of Prohibition. The relentless enforcement efforts, rather than quelling the thirst for alcohol, drove it deeper into the shadows, where organized crime syndicates thrived, expanding their empires and influence. The legal system, overwhelmed by the sheer volume of cases, buckled under the pressure, leading to corruption and inefficiencies. The unintended consequences became glaringly obvious. Crime rates soared, respect for law enforcement dwindled, and the very fabric of society was strained. It became increasingly clear that Prohibition, far from being a solution, was unsustainable, setting the stage for its eventual repeal. As the Great Depression enveloped the nation, the economic pressures and shifting public sentiment became catalysts for the repeal of Prohibition. The 21st Amendment, ratified in 1933, turned the page on a tumultuous chapter, ending the nationwide ban on alcohol. This shift reflected a populace weary of the moral crusade that had deepened societal divides and fueled the rise of organized crime. Prohibition raids, once heralded as a bulwark against moral decay, now stood as relics of an era marked by contradiction and conflict. The legacy of these raids, embedded in American history, serves as a cautionary tale of the complexities and unintended consequences of legislating morality. As we reflect on this period, it becomes a mirror, revealing the enduring challenges of balancing freedom, regulation, and societal values.